Hey everyone, my name is Shihan Soisa. I am the cooking coordinator of the Japanese Culture Society here at UTA, and I'm here to show you how to make onigiri or rice balls or donuts, if you know Brock from Pokemon, back in old school Pokemon. It's about the easiest Japanese recipe I know. Not the hardest part is making the onigiri itself and rice, cooking rice. And that's what we're going to start with. So, step one, make your rice. What kind of rice do you need for onigiri? Japanese sticky rice. This is the kind I like to use. Nishiki brand. You really can't go with basmati or risotto. It doesn't have the starch that's needed to make the rice sticky. So first thing you want to do is you want to wash your rice, right? Wash it at least 5 times. Really get in there, get rid of the excess starch, and keep washing it until the water runs clear, right? Step 2. It's the ratio of what you're going to need for rice and water. Now, not to insult my fellow South Asians, but I don't really use the knuckle method. It doesn't really work for me, especially when I'm making stuff for fundraisers or really large batches, right? The knuckle method doesn't work when your knuckles underneath the water and underneath the rice. So I use a method developed by America's Test Kitchen, and it's really, really simple. For every cup of rice, 1 cup of water, and then you add half a cup of evaporation water, or a 1/4 cup, depending on what you want to use, right? So this is 2 cups of rice, right? So 2 cups of rice. That means 1 cup, 2 cups of water, and then 1/2 cup to account for evaporation. Load it into your rice cooker, hit cook, let it go. Alright, so now we're moving on to toppings, right? So there are a lot of different toppings that can go with onigiri, but here are a few of my favorites in terms of ease of preparation. Furikake, umeboshi or pickle plums, salmon or tuna and mayo, and beef shirogane. So, furikake, right? This is rice seasoning. It's easy because you just mix it into the rice, or you can put it on top, right? It comes in a lot of different varieties. This is OISHII, so it's salt and black sesame seeds. And then this one is katsufumi furikake. So this one has bonito flakes, seaweed, also salt, and sesame seeds. So yeah, you just mix it into the rice and you're ready. With umeboshi, a little more preparation. So umeboshi is pickled plums. It's a little bit like sour cherries. It's very sour, but it's good to me. There's just a pit in there, right? And you just take the pit out. And that's how you prepare it, right? Take the pit out, and it's ready. Now, with tuna and mayo, you have a little more preparation in mind. Well, not much more. It's just tuna and mayo. So this is Japanese mayo. I like Japanese mayo more than regular mayo. And you really should use Japanese mayo for this because they add sugar in it and it's made from egg yolks. So it gives a better result for when you're making this. So you just put about as much as that. I really don't have an exact ingredient for it. It's really on trying to get a certain look. Right? So see, this is a little too much mayo, so I'm gonna get a little more salmon. So you can use canned tuna, canned salmon, right? I got this little stuff in a jar because I like it and it's pretty easy to use, right? So that's about the texture that I like when I'm making this, right? Not really like super mayo-y, but still enough to hold everything together. And lastly, beef shirogane. Now, beef shirogane, I got this recipe from Just One Cookbooks, a great Japanese recipe resource, right? This is just simmered beef in soy sauce, mirin, sake, and with some ginger, right? And you just simmer it down until it's basically a syrup, and this goes great in onigiri. So, a few things before I get started. Some things you're going to need. First, a bowl of water. Sticky rice is unsurprisingly very sticky, so if you don't get a bowl of water, it's going to get messy very quickly. Second thing, salt. You need to salt your rice, but you don't want to put salt in the rice, so you just use it on your fingers a little bit. Next, some nori seaweed. First, we're going to make some furikake, right? So we're going to use, they're my personal favorite, so the katsufumi, right? Use that one. Take a bit of rice, put it in your bowl, right? This is really just for the furikake version, personally, right? And then dump a liberal amount into the rice, so like that, right? And then you just want to, start mixing it. Now you can always just top it with this. You don't have to mix it in, right? I like to mix it in, so that every bite has a bit of furikake in it. Especially if you're not putting anything in there, it's, kind of nice in my opinion. A little more. Okay, so here that is, right? So with the water, just wet your hands a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but wet your hands a little bit. Take a bit of salt, rub it in your hands, and then take the onigiri, right? So here's the technique. One hand like this, other hand like that, right? So then you make little triangles. Then you take a flat of your palm, just flatten it out, right? You make a little nice triangle. And you take some nori, lay it on there, and you got a little piece of onigiri. So the technique is this one, right? Like that. Take it in your palm, right? I like to make a little ball first, and then one cupped hand. Light pressure, not too hard. You don't want to make it mashed rice. And that right there is generally the shape you want. Classic triangles. There's one. So, one with a filling in it, right? You don't necessarily gotta use the bowl for this one. Not doing it. Here. Forgot to wet my hands. There. So you want to put like a little divot, right? Take some filling, put it in there, cover it up. Use more rice if you feel the need to. And then, same thing, right? Start using your hands and make it into a little triangle. There we go. Take a piece of nori in this one. And there we go. Look at that. There's our 2 pieces of onigiri. And now you know how to make one.